Hello YouTubers, RVers, fellow hams. Sun just came out, so pardon my blinky eyes. I'm at my next campsite. It's the Little River Cutoff, just outside of a tiny town called Archie. If you search for it on freecampsites.net, search for Jonesville, Louisiana, and you'll find it. You look where the river sort of comes together, just west of Jonesville, and if you click on that marker, you'll see that it's either the Archie Recreational Site or the Army Corps of Engineers Little River Cutoff. I think it's listed as Little River Cutoff. It's a nice little campsite. It's a boat put in for the river. They've got ramps at either end, and both ends are gravel, pretty level. I really didn't even have to use my levelers anywhere I parked out here. It's pretty level. Hey, some clouds. Going to take the sun out of my face. It's a dam keeping one end of the river higher than the other, and I shot some footage of it. There's white heron all over the place here. They fish in the dam and sit there and feed all day. And I've seen some locals come in and fish. It's quite a popular spot for that, apparently. There were quite a few people here fishing yesterday. Wasn't sure about spending the night, but I talked to a few of the guys, and they're like, you'll be all right. Nobody messes with anything out here. One guy was taking his 4x4 back into the woods. He's got a tree stand back there on the other side of the dam, and he was going to go hunt for hogs. Apparently, they've come this far north. Wild hogs out in the woods are quite a problem, so they go out and hunt them. And he left his trailer open, had all kinds of stuff in it, in his truck, and left it there for hours, and nobody bothered it. So I didn't feel bad about staying the night, and I stayed the night. It was all right. A few locals came and went through the night. One guy pulled in at 2 in the morning, woke me up. I wondered what he was up to, but he just sort of parked near the dam and sat there for about 20 minutes and then left. So who knows? But there's a pit toilet. And out of curiosity, I looked in there with a flashlight. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. It's teeming with life down there, and you don't want to see that. It was horrible. I'm parked over at the west end of it. There's a picnic area right across from it. There's picnic tables, there's fire pits, well, grills, up above ground grills that you can bake a little fire in. Picnic tables are concrete. They've been here a while. A couple of them are starting to crack and sag, but overall they're usable and they're good. And of course the fire ants are everywhere, fire ant mounds. Up north we hear horror stories about fire ants. Everybody's learned to live around them here. They're not that bad. You just don't step on a mound. Don't park on a mound. If their mound is disturbed, they swarm whatever they can get a hold of and latch onto it and start biting and stinging. And they will swarm. If you fell down on a mound and laid there, you would be covered with them and probably injured from the poison. But people just step around the mounds. Or if they bump a mound, they step away. The ants don't go very far away from the mound. They don't chase you. Up north, I think we'd heard horror stories, and we imagined that they would see you and come after you. They don't. They just swarm whatever's on the mound. So you just avoid them. But they're everywhere. The other picnic table over here, I'm looking and I can see fire ant mounds all around the base of it, and in through where the cracks in the concrete are. None here, fortunately. Big storms came through last night. There was a tornado watch for the area. I was a little nervous about it, and I thought about leaving, but it looked like they were mostly going north. And as the evening set in and it got dark, I could see the storms way to the north. So I thought, well, I'll ride it out. And the biggest thing I had to deal with was wind. There were 30 to 40 mile an hour winds gusting straight up from the south, and I was broadside to them the way I was parked. So around 10 o'clock or so, I got up and I turned the RV into the wind, turned her straight south, and I could hear the wind howling, but it didn't vibrate or rock and roll at all. It was nice and steady. So that was the way to ride it out. In fact, I did several things. Being that there was a tornado watch and there were severe storms, I pulled up the radar and I checked it out. Looked like they were going to go north. But just in case, I thought I'd better prep. So I buttoned everything up in the RV for travel mode, you know, strapped everything down, put everything away in case I had to evacuate. So I was ready to roll. Had my antennas down, of course, and put away my levelers. I was ready to go. If I had to leave, all I had to do was hop in the driver's seat and drive away. I made sure my cell phone was charged, and I had it and a flashlight nearby, and I slept on the couch near the cab. So I was ready to go if I had to. And then the storms were going to be severe up through about 11 p.m. was when the tornado watch expired. So I set myself an alarm for every half hour on the phone, and I napped lightly for a while. And I would wake up every half hour and I'd check the radar, see where the storms were, how they were progressing, maybe look out through the windows outside to see what was going on. But the wind died down about midnight, and I went ahead and decided to settle in for a nice night of sleep. About 2 a.m. though, I woke up to rain, and it rained pretty hard for a little bit. So I puttered around. You know, I checked for leaks, checked the places where I'd found some seepage before and had patched things, and no leaks, no water seeping in. So that's good. I think I got all the leaks taken care of. It was a pretty hard rain, and no water got inside. But you know what it is with an old RV, you're always working on stuff. Yeah, yesterday, a new leak. This time it's the flush valve on the toilet. When I flush the toilet, it drips off the back of the toilet, so I've got a pitcher under there for right now, and I'm going to have to either look for parts for the valve when I find an RV store, or maybe replace the whole toilet. It's old. It's the original toilet, so 2002. It's old. So maybe I'll replace it. Yep, somebody's going to comment. I know. Somebody's going to say, oh, get a ceramic toilet. One of those with a tank. I'll think about it. I don't know. I like the one with the manual flush and rinse valves on the back because I can control how much water I use and just use what I need, you know. I'm really up on the conservation thing when I'm remote and conserving my supplies. So anyway, this is the campsite. There's a nice dam. I shot some footage, which I'm probably showing you right now, of the dam and the heron. They were out there fishing and flying around. They're pretty. For years up north, I tried to get a good picture of a heron, and I could never get very close to them. But here, they're used to people enough that they fiddle around and do their thing on the dam. They just stay on the other side of it from you. And my camera has good zoom, so I was able to get these shots, and I was pretty happy with that. They're pretty good. The river comes and goes from the east and west and sort of swings up a little bit north here. And I haven't looked to see how far north that goes. That might just be a little, I think it's just a little leg off of it that they use for a boat put in down there. They call it the Little River, and it's a little bit bigger than the biggest rivers up in around Fort Wayne. It's not as big as the Mississippi. I didn't shoot anything when I crossed the Mississippi, but boy, that's a huge river. Massive. You're going across it, it feels like you're driving across a lake, and it flows really fast. Hello, bumblebee. Go away. Go find a flower. Bumblebee just landed on me. So anyway, that's this campsite. It's a nice spot if you're traveling across Louisiana and you're going to go through Jonesville or towards Alexandria or whatever. This is a worthwhile spot to stop. It's free camping for up to 14 days. You got a pit toilet. There's a valve over there with running water. It's not painted red. I don't know if that means it's potable or not, but I'm set on water. I'm going to use my own. But you could use it for rinsing things, I suppose, or washing things off. The signs don't say whether it's potable or not. If you have a Louisiana fishing license, that dam is a nice place to fish. You can walk right down to the water, fish on the upstream or downstream side of it. And I was talking to a local that was fishing here yesterday, and he had a depth finder, and he was telling me right out in the middle they've got a pump assembly or a valve assembly, and usually they open that so the water flows through a pipe under the dam and doesn't flow over the top, and you can walk right out there and fish right along it. And he said on the downstream side where the outflow is from that pipe, there's a 30-foot deep channel in there. And I said, ooh, that's where the catfish are hanging. He said, probably. But they catch, they call them white perch down here. We call them crappie up north. And bass and drum, catfish, and of course panfish, bluegill and perch are probably in there. There's signs at either end that are a mercury warning that say limit yourself to 2 meals a month. Pregnant women shouldn't eat the fish. Children under the age of 5 shouldn't eat the fish. The local said that he believes that the mercury warnings were something political back a little ways when they were trying to cut down on lead shot. So who knows? I tend to trust the DNR signs, though. If you're worried about it, I probably would limit my meals on the fish, but apparently you can at least eat some. So I guess that's enough talking for this stop. The Little River Cutoff, just outside of Archie, Louisiana, just west of Jonesville. Search on freecampsites.net for Jonesville, Louisiana, and look for a marker just a little bit west of it where the rivers converge. And when you click on it, I think it says Little River Cutoff. It's a good spot, real quiet, level, easy to get into. Any rig can. I got in no problem at all. It's right off the highway. You do hear the road. It's behind the trees and over the hill, so it's not too bad. But you do hear the trucks. They slow down for an intersection here, so I could hear Jake brakes occasionally at night. But you know, you get used to it. Good spot. And I'm going to put my antenna up and play radio for a little while. Till the next one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not already a subscriber, click to subscribe. Join us on the Facebook channel for discussion about the videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please click to support me on my Patreon page.